Bitcoins does it take to get some goddamn respect in this town?
You just got wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Friday. That's right, it's the weekend. We made it. Congratulations. What are we celebrating exactly? Not too sure, because Bitcoin is almost exactly the same dollar amount that it was yesterday, down 0.26%. Essentially, we had this crazy Bart Simpson we dumped. We tried to get back up. We got stomped out by the resistance right here around Bart's head. And currently we are just winding up tighter and tighter and tighter as we are going sideways. And we are coming to a conclusion very soon. And the big question is, which way is this massive move going to be for Bitcoin? So we are going to talk about that today. It does look like we are going to have a relatively pretty big move soon. Don't forget, today is Friday. We do have the end of the week. We know that weekends can get a little bit crazy, especially leading into Monday. So we're going to talk about all of that today. Also have two other things I want to go over. Number one, being the fact that GBTC, which is actually a Bitcoin product, is more popular than Netflix stock over Millennials. And this is from a survey that actually had over 100,000 people participate. And if that's not exciting, the Deutsche Bank basically came out and said that by 2030, they're pretty convinced that cryptocurrencies will replace fiat. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, we do this every single day. And as you guys know, every Monday is the Ledger Nano S giveaway. Drop a comment below and you are eligible. Also, don't go anywhere because I do have a bit of a surprise at the end of this video. So you're probably going to want to stick around for that. But that being said, Bitcoin dominance back at 66.8%. Okay, so we fell a little bit, but we are still above the $200 billion level. Big gainers today: Hedge Trade, Mindle, Energy, Educare, Enigma, Matic, Horizon, Raven, Molecular Future, and Zilliqa, all doing quite well today. Now, having a look at Coin Farm, very split down the middle, very neutral, very indecisive, which is why we are looking for a big move, because on top of that, Masari doesn't want to apparently load. What's going on, Masari? Come on. Guys, I've been having some insane computer problems lately, so yeah, here we go. But having a look at this real volume, 226 million for Bitcoin, 509 for Tether, incredibly low, guys. We know what happens when volume gets this low. We do look for big moves now. Zooming out, we are still in this gigantic descending wedge. However, we did get supported right here by this red trend, which you will notice is the trend that supported us just before the massive dump in November. So how long can this support hold? That is the question, but here's what's basically going on right now. So you can see we were basically stomped out over and over and over again every single time we tried to touch the resistance. Finally, Bitcoin just absolutely dumped. We pumped one more time, got stomped out, fell again. We tried yet again. And now currently we are just riding on this resistance. Now, obviously, if this resistance does fail and we don't have a breakout, then Bitcoin does potentially look like it could fall down to about the 7.2K level again, which would not be a very massive move. However, if we are able to break out of this resistance and get above the $7,600 level short term, well, then we could see fireworks for Bitcoin, but don't get too excited too fast. We still have to get above the 7.8K level and eventually above the 8,000 and then the 8.3K level, okay? But I do want to just show you right now, that is the resistance that we're looking at. If we do fall back into the wedge, okay, we get back inside of it, well, then we're going to be going a lot lower, and you could have a move as low as even 6.6 all the way down to potentially 6.5K again. Is that going to happen? Well, we do have this potential golden cross that we need to wait for confirmation, which is happening in just a few days, right? On Monday, we'll know whether or not this is a confirmation. Currently, we are still sitting slightly above it, but if that is the case, well, then you do know that the last time we put in this cross on the weekly, Bitcoin pumped 45x over the course of several months. Actually, I think it was over the course of a few years, actually. It pretty much started the massive run, essentially, right? But before you go anywhere, before you start talking doom and gloom, we have to go lower. I just want to remind you that Bitcoin has absolute scarcity because of the 21 million limit, a limit that is only possible in the digital world. Bitcoin will act like a black hole, swallowing value from things with high inflation. Insane Bitcoin prices will come. I totally agree with you, Wilson. I'm going to actually retweet that over here because I like that. And also one thing too is that Bitcoin is around $7,000, right? You guys know the stock to flow ratio. Projected by stock to flow model to be 1.3 million in 2025. So if you put 3 months of salary into Bitcoin today, assuming that the model holds for 2 cycles, you'll have 46 years of salary 6 years from now. risking 3 months of work to gain 46 years. Sounds like a pretty easy bet, doesn't it, guys? Not financial advice, not telling you what to do, but having a look at this chart. What do you guys think? Where does this thing look like it's going? Because to me, it certainly looks like it is going to the moon. Now, stick with me, people. 2 stories super quick, and then we have a very special guest on in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about that, but having a look right here, more millennials hold Bitcoin-tied investment products in their investment portfolios than Netflix stock. And this is according to a recent thing done by Charles Schwab, right? Now, they did this with about 142,000 retirement plan participants, and the report, which was published on Wednesday, showed that millennials aged between 25 and 39 have a higher holding in Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust than in Netflix. Also, just want to note that GBTC is also more popular than stocks of Warren Buffett's conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway, Walt Disney, Microsoft, and Alibaba. And if that's not enough to get you excited, in the Imagine 2013, Deutsche Bank strategist Jim Reed raised awareness of the challenges the existing fiat system has encountered in the recent years, specifically with the emergence of, you guessed it, cryptocurrencies. Reed stipulated that people's heightened demand for dematerialized means of payment and anonymity could drive more individuals to digital currencies. In order to gain wider acceptance, however, digital assets need to overcome 3 major hurdles. These include perceived legitimacy in the eyes of the governments and regulators, dependency on electricity, and of course we have cyber attacks and digital war. But here's what I wanted to talk about. So we do have a special guest on today. Now, if you guys remember, this video was from April 2nd, and we were talking about this crazy when we had that just massive blast off pump when everybody was like, are we finally out of the bear market, right? And I just wanted to bring up one guy, and that was Crypto Bitlord, who actually basically called it based on the BitMEX insurance fund. And just to kind of, jog everyone's memory, I'll just play a clip of that really quick for you right now.
I woke up not too long ago. I had a coffee. I'm starting to get excited. And as I said, I'm going to talk about a Bitcoin Black Swan event and why I think it's on the cards. Now, I was scrolling through my Twitter feed today, and I was looking at all these shit posts. There's April Fool's, so everybody's obviously having a joke. There's like all sorts of stuff everywhere. And then I saw this one particular post. Somebody posted a chart of the BitMEX insurance fund and what the BitMEX insurance fund has been doing. Now, if you look at the BitMEX insurance fund, you see how it starts to build up. It has started to curve. And it's at the stage where it's like that. It's like it's going off and it's curved like that. It's very, very, very sensitive. It looks like it is on the edge of a cliff. Now, what is going to happen here? This is very simple. If you're somebody that knows the very basics of charting, I mean, even a kid can see this. A normal human being knows something is about to happen. Something big is about to happen. So you're going to see it looks like the BitMEX insurance fund is about to break out, which means there is going to be a big move that people aren't expecting, a very big move. And I'm looking at the charts now. I'm looking at the monthly, and I'm thinking, look, guys. If it's going to be good for us, we're going to be looking at something like 4,800s, 5,000s. That's it. But if it goes the wrong way, which is, I mean, at this stage is completely unexpected, completely like that to me just looks like it's impossible. It looks like it's impossible. Then, yeah, look, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to say, look, it looks like it's really going to moon. It looks like it's going to moon into the 5Ks this month. That's what I'm looking at. And I think, judging by this BitMEX insurance fund, I think that would have to happen rather quickly and catch a lot of people off guard.
But you have to admit, that was pretty incredible to be able to actually call that. And to put that into perspective, essentially, that video, that tweet came out right here, right before the massive pump all the way up to the 14K blow off top. So I thought today, since it's Friday, we're always so serious on the channel, worrying about price. Is Bitcoin dead? I thought today we would just talk to a Bitcoin OG. He's been around since 2012. He is a bit of a controversial character, a little bit of a troll. He does like to stir things up in the community. But that being said, guys, I hope you do enjoy this very fun interview with Crypto Bitlord. All right, so guys, we have Crypto Bitlord in the house. It is about time, a long time coming, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm feeling fresh, man. I'm loving it today. Action, always action.
Thank you so much for coming on. Now, everybody knows we've already explained how you called that massive, basically the beginning of the crazy rally. We're going to get to that in just a second, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, you can be sometimes a bit of a controversial character sometimes, but it's all in good fun. Maybe just kind of tell everyone who you are, how you got into the space. I mean, you've been in for a while, 2012, right?
Yeah, look, man, it's been a long time. I started oil and gas. I heard about Bitcoin, crypto. Back then, it was all Silk Road, So you hear about this online marketplace where people are like, buying drugs, assassinations, things like that. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Look into it. Wow, it's real. And then I had a closer look at Bitcoin. I'm like, okay, this is the future. I have to be a part of it. So I resigned from the oil and gas industry. I went all in with what I had. And it was really good timing. It was 2012, and it has just been up since. I mean, altcoins were crazy. You could literally throw money at anything, and it would just go up. It was the time. I had the time of my life, and it's been going for 8 years now. So I can't get enough of this shit, man.
Well, a lot of people would say that you did get lucky. You got in early. I mean, do you think that it's like that's it?
Hell
like
no.
It's too late to get in now? I mean, or is that just what an OG is supposed to say, essentially?
No way, no, mate. I mean, look, you got to understand how much FUD there was back then. China's banning it. The FBI coming after it. It's banned across the world. It wasn't luck. It was like, y'all believe in this shit. I believe in what it can do. So, literally, I went to a lot of people for advice. I'm like, what do you think of this? I asked my accountant when it was a couple dollars. I said, look, what do you think of this? And he said, no, it's a scam. It's a Ponzi. I was like, all right, cool. I backed away. I didn't touch it. Like a month or two later, it's like quadrupled. I'm like, dude, what is this? He's like, don't touch it. This is how they suck you in. And I'm like, you, and I just got into it. I was like, screw this guy. And it worked, and through that period, man, yeah, sure. There was a little bit of, I won't say luck because it took some extreme shit to take that risk. It was balls, you can't teach that shit, man. And it's the same thing now. People think it's going to 3K, 2K, 1K. Think of all the noobs that are scared to buy in because they're thinking it's going to go down more. You just got to get the balls and just go bam. Get into it. Simple.
Not financial advice, by the way. Not financial advice. We always do advocate for dollar cost averaging, but actually your story is really similar to my story. I didn't get in nearly as early as you. Similar story everybody knows on my channel. I'm not going to repeat it, but yeah, man, 2017, same thing. Once I figured out about it, I was like, I got to get into this. I got to get more of it. I got to get as much of it as I possibly can. And I did the same thing. Now, I don't recommend doing this. I went all in. I took everything I had in my savings account. And for the rest of the remainder of the year that I worked at my job, I dumped every last penny into Bitcoin. I didn't even pay my mortgage. This is a true story.
Yeah.
I do not recommend this. Okay. So basically that's the situation, but guys, we're crazy, don't do what we do. But I do want to ask you, man, how the heck did you predict the start to the pump? I mean, bro, it was like, you can't even make that up on Twitter. You were looking at the, the BitMEX funding rate, and the next day it was just like, boom.
Boom, man. Dude, it just comes down to like, I've seen some sort of patterns. I've seen charts like fractals, time and time again. And this one was just telling me, yo, it is about to go down. It is about to happen. And you look at the BitMEX insurance fund, look, we know it's not going to go down. There's nothing that's going to cause it to go down. It's going to go up. And what's going to cause it to go up? A huge price move. So I'm looking at everything. It's oversold. We've got the block reward halving coming up. Is it going to go lower? Hell no. No, I was just like, look, I'm going to back this 100%. I think this is going to moon. And it was like literally, I was calling it the Black Swan event. A day later, I was just like, it's happening. It's happening.
What are your thoughts, though, about some people claiming, it was all just basically that, plus token Ponzi, and, they're just basically chalking it up to that? I mean, so many people like to just come up with, it was, the China pump, or it was the scam. I mean, what do you think? Do you think fundamentally we were due for a pump? I mean...
Yeah, it's like, exactly that. We were due for a pump. We were oversold. It wasn't going to go any lower. And we can make up any narrative we like. We can blame China. We can blame Trump. We can blame the moon. But end of the day, it pumps. And it comes down to a multiple of factors, and it just depends, how we want to label it. We can blame China. I'll take it, or whatever. I'm just happy that it pumps.
And as far as Bitcoin altcoin, I do notice that you do. Honestly, I don't even know if you're messing around or not when you talk about XRP and you make these different comments about altcoins and stuff. I mean, where are you right now? I mean, position wise, are you still hardcore Bitcoin? That's still the king. That's the big daddy, or are you in altcoins? How is your style like? How do you like to hold your portfolio and sort of trade?
Look, Bitcoin is our digital gold. It's our standard. It's the number one. I always think it's going to be that standard. And altcoins are they're like the complementary. They're like the side dish. And you can have a lot of these things. Some of them do really well, and they can outpace BTC. We've seen them be able to outpace BTC time and time again. But they're not all going to continue to go up. It's like, look, if you're making crazy money on an altcoin, sell a little bit, take some profits. Don't hold it to zero, which is what a lot of people do. And then you have more Bitcoin. So some of them, it's like you can keep a moon bag. You might hold like 10% of your original position, but you've already cashed out like a 10x. And then, if that goes to zero, big deal. You've done well. But it all comes down to managing a risk like that. And look, altcoins are very risky, extremely risky, more risky than Bitcoin. So you need to be so careful. There's so many scams, pump and dumps. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So, you need to put the time in and just be careful,
And most people don't have the time to do that kind of fundamental analysis, unfortunately. There's so much stuff that goes on in the background, even with like the market makers, and forget it, man. Guys doing, trades before the token even hits the exchanges, doing it behind the scenes. So it's definitely a mess. But as far as so 8 years now, Bitcoin's been on top. What do you think? Do you think one day it'll get surpassed, or do you think Bitcoin's just going to kind of always just be the number one?
Look, it's like even these advanced blockchains, they have scalability issues. And for me, Bitcoin's not about buying a coffee or buying like a Big Mac or something silly. Bitcoin to me is digital gold, and we have different scaling solutions like Lightning and things like that can reduce on-chain transactions, make things a lot faster and easier. But still, if I think my Bitcoin's going to be worth more next year and the year after, why am I going to spend it? Spend it. I have a little bit of fiat I can spend. For me, it's like every Bitcoin I spend, or every dollar of a coin I spend, that can potentially be worth more in the future. So it teaches you to save, and that's like the
law,
opposite.
Man. Are you familiar with Gersham's law? The bad drives out good. Listen. Here's the thing: if I give you $1,000 in fiat, or I give you $1,000 in Bitcoin, and I tell you to go down to the store and buy me $1,000 worth of goods from the grocery store, and they'll accept both of them, which one would you want to spend? That paper is the one you're going to spend, and the Bitcoin's the one you're going to hold. And I think inherently, most people watching that feel the same way about that. So
definitely, man. No one really wants to spend their coin. It's like even if it's going up, we have more an incentive, because it's like, okay, like let's say Bitcoin doubles. At 20,000, I was happy to spend a little bit of coin. I was like, oh, this is good. At 6,000, oh hell no. I don't even want to eat.
When you were talking about not to cut you off, bro, but when you were talking about the whether or not it'll be replaced and stuff, what I always think about with Bitcoin, this may not be the greatest analogy, but I think about sort of like the internet, like TCP/IP, and like what we built these layers off of, right? And I always think about the foundation of a house being the most solid, right? And when you're thinking about Bitcoin being this old, whatever, clunky thing, the reality is it's designed to do one thing and one thing very well, and that's transfer value on the safest network on planet Earth. If you had to send $1 million, which blockchain would you use? I would go with Bitcoin personally, and I think that is the luxury, that is the value, that's the attractiveness of Bitcoin. I don't want to use Bitcoin to buy a cup of coffee. You know what I want to use? My freaking $5 bill that's going to be worth 2% less next year, guaranteed.
Exactly, man. Right? Exactly.
But it's hard when people are in that mentality of like, I just want to get rich now. I want Bitcoin to moon now. And, I've had people on the channel like, they might have just bought in this year. They got in at 14. Now it's down at 7. This thing's a scam. It's like, you stretch it out logarithmically and look at it. But now a lot of people are complaining. Exactly. A lot of people have been complaining about, this whole futures thing. The futures are what destroyed Bitcoin, right? The 20K top was just obliterated by the introduction to CBOE and CME. Now, we did hear the Trump administration saying that, they were trying to tame the beast. But did we really tame the beast? Think about it. We went from 20 to 3, back to 14, back to 7. Does that look like a market that you've tamed?
Nope. It's just some old boomer, trying to chase some clout. We're going to tame Bitcoin. Well, look at the CME. Look at the volume on that thing. Let's be honest. There hadn't been a lot of people trading on it. There was like half a Bitcoin or something the first day, and then it hasn't even got to any serious numbers. It's like no one's even trading that. Everybody's trading on these derivative exchanges across the place. It's going to take time for this institutional money to start using CME, and they're probably already, and look, we've got to be honest, they're probably already on these other exchanges. Doing it through CME, it's just like a legit way for them to do it. It's going to take time for them to come on there. CME did basically it hasn't really made huge impact. It's early days. Maybe in a year or 2 years, CME is going to be massive. You'll have Wall Street on there. It'll be like the go-to place. But for now, it's early days. It's like BitMEX in 2015. It's early,
Yeah.
So
which is something that a lot of people don't realize that this it's not new. I mean, I've seen so many people talking about leverage trading specifically. It's become a really hot topic. I think it was because a lot of people switched to it because the altcoins weren't performing. But then a lot of people who obviously using too high of leverage, getting wrecked. Then you get that gambling sort of addiction to it, which that's just in any case. So it has been getting a bad rap lately. What is your opinion on that? Because like you said, BitMEX has been around since 2015. So, why is it all of a sudden now a problem? I don't understand.
Well, look, what bit of inside stuff. What really happened? A lot of these guys that were shilling ICOs and getting big money from that, they went down the wrong path. They did. They shilled some scammy stuff, some things that went to zero. They hurt their followers, and then you've got good guys that are promoting, literally legit things like leverage trading, margin trading, which is a way for you to reduce risk. It's a way to hedge, your Bitcoin value. You can hedge your Bitcoin value so it's the same US dollars. You can use a little bit of leverage to increase your profits and, try to limit downside risk. Of course, there's risk involved, but nowhere near what these guys were shilling. And I think a lot of that anger is coming from the fact that they missed out. And now they're trying to bring guys down because, everyone's doing the right thing here. Leverage trading is the next big thing. Everybody wants to get into it. There's a huge opportunity to make money with consistent strategies. Mm-hmm. You've got to get involved in it. Altcoins are cool, but leverage trading is like, it's like an altcoin market on crack.
I'll be honest with you. Once I started using it, I really my altcoin portfolio basically dwindled, and I'm only holding about a handful right now because when you realize the liquidity of Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? Like even just a simple, people don't even understand things like synthetic shorts, right? Just do like a 1x or something, and then that way you're just actually you're keeping the same amount of value, and regardless of what happens to the price. I mean, that's not risky. You know what I'm saying? That's actually protecting your assets and stuff like that. So
exactly, but so the thing is, like, it doesn't matter what you do. Someone's always going to have something bad to say. I mean, you could be like doing you could be like feeding kids across the world, putting your own money to do that, and someone's going to say, "Oh, look, he's an asshole. He's a scammer. He's just doing it for attention." It's like, holy shit, man! Like, you can never please people. It's crazy. There's like a delusion out there, especially in crypto. So, my opinion is like, look, I think it's a great thing. Great thing for the space. Great thing for Bitcoin.
What about what people say? Because I don't know. I never traded on BitMEX. It just never was my thing. It was kind of before me. But you've heard these like stories about they're betting against their clients and stuff like that, or like these different internal types of engines, or what? Just explain that to me because some of them have been caught, or at least people think they've been doing some shady stuff, right? And you've been around longer than me, so you probably know.
Yeah, it's a big. If we're getting into this conversation, it's a big thing. Look, guys, internal trading desks where the exchange. It's like they're not using outside market makers. They're using an inside market makers that have special benefits like latency, fees and stuff like that. And they can even see orders before in some instances. They use that information to profit with high frequency algorithms. It's a huge thing on Wall Street, who can get the quickest. But here, the exchange has these added benefits. They make more money on the internal trading desk than they do on fees. It is mind-blowing. It's running rampant across crypto. It's been, BitMEX are doing it. Everybody's doing it. There's literally one exchange that's not doing it, which is Judex. Won't go into them too much right now, but mate, when I took a closer look at what's going on, look, I knew this for years, but when I took
right? You said I've
Judex, yes.
I've heard. What is it about Judex that currently right now I'm noticing it's only mostly Bitcoin, so.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, like 90% of crypto trading is done in Bitcoin. All these other alts and things like that, there's not a lot of trading done in them. And look, some of these other derivative exchanges that have all these products, there's no liquidity, and you should not be trading it because you cannot trade anything on there safely. It's like you add leverage plus the volatility. It's suicide. Trade spot if you're going to trade altcoins. There's literally maybe only one contract that you should trade on derivatives, and maybe that's Ethereum. But other than that, stick to Bitcoin and sharpen those skills. There's no way people should be touching alts. No way. So they're focusing all the energy, all the product features, everything into that one BTC contract, and it is going to be lit out of control. There are some insane product features coming out that I start to get excited. I start to froth. I need to calm down. That's how I feel.
Jeez, all right. Well, I'll have to check it out, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just trading Bitcoin. I mean, I'm always down for having multiple accounts as well. I mean, obviously, everybody knows that I mostly trade using Bybit. I have obviously tried to tone down the, talking about it because it's been a really big controversy lately. But I mean, what about Bybit? Do you have an issue with them, or did you like specifically?
Okay. When Bybit first came out, it was like even Binance, I was very skeptical because for me, it's like I've seen so many dodgy, scammy ass exchanges over my time. I've seen, a lot of people go down. So even with Binance, I was very standoff. I was like, guys, don't trust this. Give it a couple months or anything. But everyone was shilling it, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Like I'm just suspicious, And I kept that suspicion. Binance turned out to be a good thing. I even bought some tokens at one stage and made some money. And then when Bybit came out, I had that same stance. And so did a lot of guys. They're like, no, this is a scam. And they started with lower liquidity and things like that. And we're like, no, this is bullshit, the volatility and stuff. And it just got a bad rep to start off. But they've done really well. And they don't have that bad rep anymore. So, I mean, now I'm more open to exchanges. I spend a lot of time looking at the team, looking at what they're doing, how they manage risk and security. And I'm a little more open. I put a little bit of funds here, a little bit of funds there, help me reduce my risk. And yeah, I just, I give everything a chance now. I'm not that standoff guy where I'm like, that's a scam. I'm very open.
It is scary though when you do have that kind of influence though. You have a lot of people that follow you on Twitter. I have people that watch this channel, and you want to do your best, you want to do your most due diligence, and it's scary because sometimes you'll find something, you get really excited. Well, not even an exchange, an altcoin or just whatever, and I've gotten really excited, even just spoke about some news and then found out the next day it was fake news, and I'm like, oh my God, now I got to apologize to everybody that watched that video. So I think it really is a responsibility on, our behalf as those that have been in the space to do your research. So you're saying Dudex is something I should check out. I'll definitely check it out then.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I spent 8 years in this space, like, not working with anybody, not looking close at anything to go and go, yo, this is legit. Like I held BitMEX. I nearly got a BitMEX tattoo last year. I was so close to getting a BitMEX tattoo. I was like, I love this place. The overload, they're not increasing anything. And I got so frustrated. I'm like, them. And then I was like, I need a new home. I really need a new home. I need someone doing things right. And then when they were like, no internal trading desk, I'm like, yo,
yeah,
that speaks with me.
Yeah, like I said, dude, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I don't want to harp on the whole video for that, but yeah, man, dude, I mean, listen, you've been in the space for 8 years, bro. So if you say something's worth a look, I'll definitely give it a look. But getting off topic, though, I mean, obviously, I'm sure a lot of people had opinions about that conversation. But for new people coming into the space, obviously, let's just be completely honest. Leverage trading is way too dangerous. If you're just brand new, your best bet is just dollar cost averaging, hodling, and stuff like that. But I was curious, man. I mean, just in general, do you have any advice that you could give people, not like just trading, just in general? I've only been in crypto for a week. What can you tell me? What do you have from your 8 years of experience?
It's going to come down to taking risk, guys. You've got to take some risk, but it's how you limit that risk. Look, if you've got $1,000 to invest, have a look at it and go, look, this could go to zero. Everything could go to zero. Look, we know that it's a possibility. Understand that may happen. You could get hacked. You could lose everything. If you can afford to lose that, then sure, get in, maybe invest in a couple alts, hold some BTC long-term, hold it for the next 5, 10, 15 years. You don't know what's going to happen. Lock it away. Use maybe 20 or 30% to trade with, try to increase your Bitcoin stack, try to learn from that. So you might, you use 20% to invest in alts and then maybe 10% for leverage trading to increase your skills. You have to start somewhere. And the thing is, there's a very good chance that you're going to lose money when you first start trading. You have to accept that risk and go, allocate $100 to it and understand that you're probably going to lose it, but it's what you take away from that loss and how you learn and build those skills. So that's how I look at the space. It's very risky, but you can manage that risk and put yourself in a better position. Also think long-term, think for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Make sure you have some corn set away.
What do you think long term? Where do you see this all going, man? I mean, because Trump can come out tomorrow and ban it, which we all know that won't do anything. Price will fall, and then a couple weeks later it'll start going back up. But essentially, where do you see this thing, man? I mean, do you really think the governments and all these guys are just gonna sit back and let this thing just take over the world? You know what I mean? It's I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Oh, look, have a look. If they weren't open to it, they wouldn't be taxing it. They wouldn't allow CME. They wouldn't allow a bit license. They're open to it. This is early days. So have a look at this next
The
halving.
reality is they're not going to ban it. They might as well figure out how to tax it because
Exactly,
you're not going
man.
to stop this thing, bro. Pandora's box is open. So
Exactly. So it feels like, in a way, when they're taxing it, they're legitimizing it. It's like, yeah, you go and do that, but we just want our cut, which is fine with us. So if you look at it like the next 5, 10, 15 years, after a few of these block halvings, when it gets to the stage where we're mining like 0.2 BTC a block, I mean, 0.2 BTC today is like a couple $100. And if that's what they're mining per block, and it needs to support the network in terms of money rewards, huge potential, huge potential. Have a look at the guys that bought Bitcoin for $1,000 and then it went to 160. They thought it was all over. Anybody that held, they're in a good position now. So
I know,
it's
and
just
you're talking about
game.
90% crash, and right now we're talking about a 50% crash, and the world is like freaking out. It's like, wow, I wish you. And I wasn't even there for like the Mount Gox. I can't even imagine going through all that crazy stuff. I just saw the blow off top, the bear, and now. So that's my, that's what I have. But I mean, dude, I'm not going anywhere. That everybody knows that. I mean, I didn't start this channel for any other reason, essentially, than to just document my journey. I love talking about it. I love the space, and you've been in it for 8 years. You don't seem like you're ready to pack up and leave anytime soon. So, yeah, man, for everybody out there, definitely check out Crypto Bitlord. If you don't know who he is already, I will drop the link below. Actually, before we go, we talked about it. Just curious, are there any altcoins you're looking at all? Any that are of interest right now?
Okay, there are. But it comes down to, okay, look.
I won't hold you to it. We're not going to...
Well, hold me to it. Hold me to it. Look, one thing for me is I'm not looking for these coins that were ICOs, that were pre-mines, that were this and that. I'm looking for older, more established coins that didn't have all that sort of stuff. And I look at them almost like a cheap alternative to Bitcoin. And it's like the same principle. Like when Bitcoin starts to moon, and people are looking at the cost between, okay, I can buy a Bitcoin for $10,000, or I can buy, example, a Dogecoin for like 1 cent. People buy Dogecoin just because it's 1
cent. But they don't
cent.
understand market cap. That's why, they think it's cheaper, so it must be a better deal. But
the thing is, Doge market cap is very low right now as well. And look, I'm not going to go into any other alts, but the thing is, like, something for me like Dogecoin, I like what it's about. I like how it started. It started as a meme, and then it literally started as a dumbass meme. Like, let's make this this fork of a Doge thing, and they pumped it to $1 billion market cap.
Yeah,
hilarious, bro. And now it's like,
but that's why crypto does get like the bad things said about it when they're like, yeah, that Dogecoin is in like the top. I don't even know where it is right now, but
it's for me, it's like, I don't know, it's like a good meme coin. And if Bitcoin really catches on, I honestly feel like a lot of people will look for cheaper things that didn't have the pre-mine, didn't have the ICO and stuff like that. And I just look at it like, Dogecoin fits that, and I feel like, look, I can hold a couple $100 in it, see what happens. And if it goes to zero, like all this shit, it's not going to hurt me. But for me, I mean, I like it. It's like a safe, conflict-free, good community. So that's one that I'll always hold.
And the thing too, though, man, like just to well, before we go, I just want to say one thing. Like, I definitely tell people that like you need to take profits. Even with altcoins that I've spoke about on my channel. Like recently, I've been holding Matic. I like Matic. I think that I like what they do. They basically already scale for Ethereum, even though Ethereum's trying to scale on their own. But essentially, what's great about them is if you're an Ethereum developer, then by default you are a Matic developer. And they were behind. I can't remember Dagger. They were the guys behind Dagger. But, they're up like 9x right now from, when they came out. And I told everyone, I was like, guys, I took profit. Not all of it. But that way, if it does now crash to zero, I can walk away and be like happy with it. So I think that's the most important thing. I think people need to manage their risks and, definitely because what do you do when you first get in, right? When you're first into crypto, you FOMO into every pump, you buy every coin that every person shills, right? You don't do any of your research, right? And, after you like you said, after you lose like your first couple paychecks investing, you're like, okay, hold on. Let me actually start looking into this, right? And that's why I definitely tell people, not financial advice, but altcoins are really crazy. And if you don't have time to do the research, then just buy Bitcoin. Because if you're not going to do the research and you're just going to let other people do the research for you, then you need to actually ask yourself, why are they telling you to buy it? Are you sure it was research, or that they just want to pump their bags? You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly. I mean, as soon as somebody holds something, it's like you've got an incentive to talk good about it. It's like, have a look at literally anything. Like, it could be people invest in anything, or it could be their street. They're always going to talk good about things, they're just incentivized to do so. Human nature, nothing wrong with that. It's like if I'm owning Bitcoin, yeah, sure, I'll laugh about it going down. I'm like, oh, this fucking thing, it's a scam, it's a bit of a joke. But
what's
really
the difference
down.
if you dollar cost average down versus up? Like, people don't have that hindsight. Like, okay, like nobody wanted to buy when it was 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. But then as soon as it started going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, well, now we ladder in. But what is the difference? It's all the same. Like, people were laughing at Anthony Pompliano when he was buying Bitcoin all the way down. And they were just like, dude, you're nuts. Well, who's laughing now? Now I have all of these buy orders well below 7K, and I'm still up right now. So, you know, I don't know. To me, it's laughable. I love the occasional comment of like, Bitcoin is dead. And it's like, okay, all right, well, I'll see you in a couple months then. So they'll be back. Your friends and family will be hitting you up as soon as it breaks 20K again. And unfortunately, they'll buy the top again, but then hopefully they'll learn and the cycle will repeat itself. But Bitlord, thank you so much for coming on the channel, bro. It's been like, I honestly never thought we'd do an interview. I didn't ever think it would happen. And we got a chance to meet at World CryptoCon, and you just reached out and were like, hey, bro, I'm in the States. What's up? I'm bored. Let's get up. So thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. I really enjoy it. You're a really cool dude. I hope we could do some fucking crazy shit in the future, man. Like, I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely, dude. Once the price goes back up again, everybody will get excited, and then, you know, but right now it's almost like you put content out and nobody really watches it. So it's like, you know, why I want to save my best stuff for when the masses come in, but we'll definitely get up, man. Good seeing you. Thank you for the good advice. And yeah, for everybody out there, once again, definitely check out Crypto Bitlord. I will drop the link below. Thanks again, buddy. So thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end today. You are a trooper. I hope you got some kind of value out of today's video. Now, obviously, take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not too sure about Dogecoin. I mean, it is up since its inception, but be very careful with that one, guys. It is, in fact, a meme. I think Bitlord was just joking. But that being said, guys, I do hope you are staying safe out there and understand that these are just cycles. And every time we get to the bottom, everybody starts saying Bitcoin is dead, doom and gloom. And you know what? It is common for Bitcoin to have these 90%, 70%, 50% drops that we're seeing today. So could Bitcoin go lower? Absolutely, guys. But we do know that the trend is your friend until the end. And I don't think you really have to really tell me which way this trend is going, guys. The trend is clearly going up. And that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. If you haven't got subscribed yet, definitely check it out. Make sure you turn on the bell notification. Join the Telegram group if you're interested. Drop a comment for the Ledger Nano S. And I think that is it for me today. Enjoy your freaking weekend. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.